Hi everyone, again, welcome to Side B, welcome to the Inner Wild. I am Tina, and we are on part B of our vibrational healing with the focus of what picked up from last week, which is awareness. It was so weird how that happened, but the bottom of the deck, which is an emphasis to awareness, is guidance. Okay, now what we're doing is seeking out a rough sketch of how we integrate guidance truly into our day-to-day. Just a little bit of time for mindfulness. You can change the world. So, we are on cosmic templating. This is a horizontal medicinal path, which means you can draw or make high-order models of culture based on ancient wisdom. You can also see codes in fields of genetics, microbiology, and physics. You might enter into fields of engineering and create models for computer systems. Have the courage of your convictions, for you can find formal patterns in any system that can provide a clear base for deeper understanding. Mathematics can be used to great advantage, especially if you use imagination as well as reason. You can design blueprints for whatever is needed. So I'm not the techie type, right? But I engage myself completely in their nature when I'm out and about. This could be anywhere from casually walking the dog to a formal 2-hour hike. It doesn't matter where I am, it's an automatic resonance. What they're suggesting is to look into certain systems. It could be even a hierarchy, that you're able to find patterns, that there's a common form, a common thread. That simple structure that makes things work is inherent in all ecosystems, all organizations that operate harmoniously. The more harmonious, the stronger the foundations, the stronger the build. To be able to see that externally is to be able to not just identify with it, like to understand it, but to also relate to the whole. Like you're an integral part of the piece. You are a missing piece to the puzzle. The only piece, but you're very separate. So old earth axis, essence, okay. Your very being, your nature, revealing perennial wisdom. This path guides you to have a deep awareness of the spiritual roots of all viable cultures in a perennial wisdom. You now have the capacity to initiate this awareness in discovering the seed patterns of ancient and tribal cultures. You might work in fields of history, archaeology, anthropology, or some form of shamanism. Geometry, divination, sacred mapping of worlds, ley lines are part of this practice. Extract the perennial wisdom out of the ancient and tribal traditions and make a clear record of your findings. You may also be directly involved with living tribal peoples and bring the sacred practices and laws you discover into some form of neo-shamanism to help regenerate the modern social world. Oh my goodness, it's just telling us that we need regrounding in today's world. And how do we do that? Not just by our own ways, but delving deeper to our roots, rediscovering them. Yes, breathing new life into our realm, those lost and forgotten ways. That we're truly harmonious, connected. Yes. Okay. Yes. So You know, those cultures that have close-knit families, they have traditions that they carry out, anywhere from celebrating to commemorating to mourning the life cycle of another being. Yes. I mean, you think like a bar mitzvah, a quinceañera, what is it? There's like death anniversaries where they do prayers. I forget what that's called. Ugh. Anyway, let's move forward. The essence is the spiritual practices. The first part was creative, when we talked about finding patterns within your horizontal realm. And then now we're on the existence, the actual experience plane. Illuminative guidance. Okay, this path shows that you are being guided in transformation by the primal spiritual sources of the universe. Be aware of your own spiritual energy and practice meditation. You may experience illumination as a sign that your own aura is clearing and expanding. You may take an interest in ancient traditions or myths and symbols as a mirror of what you are experiencing. Yeah, you know what I found helpful when I did like a daily focus card was using the divinatory system of just using the archetype cards. I think it was very helpful to find that resonance, especially because it draws in myths and fables. All right, but back to that old reading. Yes, we talked about awareness of our own spiritual energy. I felt compelled to talk to you about my experiences, however crazy that may sound. This is not on just a 3D plane. This is a higher level. This is working with other energies that are of a higher plane, which means that when you interact with a gifted individual, there's so much to be learned. And yes, that is of the experience plane. This is of becoming more mindful and how important it is to develop your awareness. And once you develop your awareness, like it goes hand in hand with your intuition. One unfolds the other. Anyway, because, you know, without that, if you express a position of neutrality, because it's a shifting form of ignorance, a subtle form of it, what will happen is, especially if you are dealing with some unsavory, if you come to find out that you're dealing with someone that is unsavory or that has succumbed to negative aspects, let's just say negativity, and let that take seed from within, you experience consequence. You experience not just it's not just cause and effect, it's consequence. Okay, let's move on. So now we are on the vertical medicinal path, which is radiant hierarchy. Okay, this is governance. This path guides you to heal at a distance radionically, while attuned to subtle vibrations. You might work with some aspect of electromagnetic spectrum as a governor of how the subtle forces work into the grosser and denser levels of existence. Use music, architecture, astronomy, and mathematics, and see how these See how these harmonic, ordering forces shape our culture. Observe how cycles of many sorts are governors of energy flow into matter and back again into energy. Life cycles, seasonal cycles, and rhythms of the heartbeat and of the vibrations of strings or oscillators are all governors of the radiant hierarchy of nature. You can govern by being in harmony with cycles. Yes. Seasons, the cycles of the seasons, cycles of the moon, cycles of your journey, because we go through multiple journeys within our own lifetime, our single lifetime here. Yes, and if you believe in past lives, the cycles of prior that our ancestors upheld. Yes, I particularly resonate with music. And you know, you have your own particular resonance of what speaks to you naturally. But let's say for music, it breathes life back into me. It's invigorating, it's relaxing, and I find healing. Regardless of if I'm higher vibing or lower vibing, it always has a healing effect. And it's like you become part of the scene, of the imagery, of the vibration. It also resonates enough for me to mirror that type of energy. That's as much as I understand. I'm not exactly sure about the resonance of architecture or mathematics, but astronomy, yes. Now that I've expanded my awareness of how the cosmic structures and the shifting does play a huge part, it helps in knowing how planetary forces, the shifting in the moon cycles and all of that, how we can use that knowledge as an advantage to stay on top of our game. It's almost like getting a memo to keep you on track, forward facing. It's almost like the tribal knowledge passed on within an organization to keep you focused and at your best, to keep you aligned with the system. I think that is just about it for right now. We can go deeper into this, but I think this is enough for now. I think the pure intent to get started, realigning our focus, making sure that our moral compass is still working. I'm all itchy because I just watered the plants this morning. And I kid you not, there's negative. I guess this is something that can only be discussed one-to-one, because I don't expect every viewer or even half the viewers to understand where I'm coming from with this, with negative forces outside the home and hearth. Anyway, hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me once again. Thank you for setting some time aside to improve the collective whole through yourself, being an instrument of peace. Yes, we are so used to raising the bar, constantly benchmarking ourselves to the point of disillusion that we cannot create impact, or our footprint isn't big enough, that this constant state of this idea of lacking, that it's just not good enough, prevents us from doing what we set out to do, to creating a legacy for our lineage, for the collective whole, our world as it stands. We need to see beyond, actually place intent in every day. Okay, well, thank you. I want to thank your spirit guides, your guardians, my spirit guides. I want to thank Spirit for this moment and protecting our space, our angels as well, protecting this sacred space and our journey moving forward to ascend and help others through their ascension process. What else do we want to say? I have no doubt that Spirit is with us. I've been connecting a lot now. Now that I've let go of some things, I have a lot more time on my hands. I have a lot more energy, a lot more focus, and it's so much, it's an awakening in itself, like a self-triggered awakening. And on top of that, because of that, my spiritual awakening has like broadened. It has unfolded. And I want to share that with you guys because it's very illuminating. I feel happier. I feel lighter. And as much as like it brings like tears of joy inside, like I can feel it. There's a certain strength where there's something that prevents the tears because it's right borderline on edge where I'm not succumbing to it, that I'm not giving into the sadness of it. Is sadness the word for it? But the sorrows that I've felt, is that it's outweighed by the joy experienced by them. So I think you know what I mean when I relay it to you like that in those terms. I'm experiencing something very good, very positive. We're on an upward incline to something greater, and I'm seeing beyond these illusions, what they told us greatness is, what I came to believe growing up as a child, and even as a young adult, and even as even in this past year. Anyway, if you're on your journey, I look forward to you finding that harmony and that greater sense of purpose and placement. Because it's a saving grace. Like, I understand. And I understand why some of it, a good bulk of it, had to be done alone. So, anyway, have a great day. Have a great week. I wish you well on your journey, because there's many blessings ahead, as well as the ones we have now. Okay.